Life is not a game. It's not a show. It's not something you get to replay or restart when things go wrong. Life is serious. Your future is serious. Your choices are serious. Every word you say, every action you take, every promise you make, they all shape the story you live in. You see, most people drift through life pretending it's all casual, pretending tomorrow is guaranteed, but it's not. And one day they wake up and realize they wasted their potential chasing comfort instead of purpose. Let me ask you something real. How are you doing, truly? Are you overwhelmed? Are you content? Are you restless? Are you excited or are you afraid? Be honest, don't fix it. Don't hide it. Just name it. Because the truth you refuse to face will quietly control your life. When was the last time you slowed down and actually checked in with yourself? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I'm not okay, but I'm still responsible for what happens next? Responsibility. That word scares people because it means you have to own your life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. No more blaming your past. No more pointing at the system. No more waiting for someone to save you. The moment you say, I am responsible, everything changes. Those three words hold power, more power than motivation, more power than luck, more power than any excuse. I am responsible means no one else is coming to fix your life. It means the future depends on what you do, not what others promise. It means you stop running from your pain and start turning it into purpose. Most people live on autopilot. They consume endlessly. Food, social media, distractions, trying to fill an emptiness that responsibility could heal. But the truth is that emptiness inside you, it's not there to be filled. It's there to be faced. The restless mind wants to escape, but a responsible soul sits with the discomfort and learns from it. Because growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from accountability. You might say, but I can't control my thoughts. I can't control my feelings. Maybe not instantly, but you can control what you feed them. Every thought that enters your mind is a seed. If you water it with fear, it grows into anxiety. If you feed it with responsibility, it grows into strength. And here's the secret. The world doesn't reward victims. It rewards warriors. People who take ownership of their emotions, their actions, and their outcomes. Every time something goes wrong, whisper to yourself, I am responsible. Not in guilt, not in shame, but in power. Because the moment you take responsibility for your life, you take control of your future. Let's talk about emotions. You'll get angry. You'll get jealous. You'll get hurt. That's part of being human. But responsibility is about what you do after you feel those things. Anger can destroy years of progress in a single moment. One outburst can burn down the bridges you spent years building. But if you take responsibility for your anger, if you face it, understand it, and redirect it, that same fire can become fuel. Every emotion has energy. Responsibility is learning how to guide that energy towards something that makes you better, not bitter. You can't stop the storm, but you can build the shelter. And that shelter is self-mastery. We live in a world that loves to shift blame. Everyone wants the credit, but no one wants the accountability. Everyone wants success, but few want the discipline it demands. The truth? Responsibility is the foundation of freedom. Because the moment you stop blaming others, you free yourself from the chains of dependency. No one can control you anymore. Because you've accepted control of yourself. God, the universe, whatever you believe in, it doesn't hand out blessings for nothing. It gives opportunities to those who are ready to carry them. And if you're not ready, life will test you until you are. You say you want peace, But peace doesn't come from avoiding responsibility. It comes from alignment. You'll never feel calm in a life you're running away from. When something is meant for you, it flows. When it's not, it fights you. And that constant frustration you feel, that anxiety in your chest, it's not punishment, it's a message. You're out of alignment. You're living beneath your responsibility. So take this moment seriously, because this, right now, is your turning point. Stop waiting for a perfect time. Stop waiting for validation. Start living like your choices matter. Because they do. Life is serious because it's real. You don't get to rehearse it. You only get one shot. And the question is, what are you doing with it? If you're tired of drifting, take responsibility. If you're tired of excuses, take responsibility. If you're tired of waiting, take responsibility. Because when you do, you stop being a victim of life and you start becoming the creator of it. Responsibility, it's not a burden. It's the weight that builds you. The same way gravity builds your muscles, responsibility builds your character. Every challenge you face, every mistake you make, every consequence you carry, it's all shaping you into the person you were meant to become. And the truth is, the heavier the weight, the stronger you can grow. Most people run from that weight. They call it pressure. They call it stress. They call it unfair. But the great ones, they lean into it. They understand that pressure isn't punishment, it's preparation. Responsibility doesn't crush you, it forges you. Think about it. Everything meaningful in your life comes with responsibility attached. Love, responsibility. Success, responsibility. Freedom, the highest responsibility of all. You can't have one without the other. You can't live freely while running from what you owe. Not to others, but to yourself. Responsibility means showing up when it's hard. It means saying, this is my mess and I'm going to clean it. It means being the person people can count on, even when no one's watching. And when you do that, something shifts inside you. You start walking differently. You start talking differently. You look people in the eye because you know you've earned your respect. Not from others, but from yourself. Let's be honest. Taking responsibility isn't glamorous. It means facing parts of yourself that you've avoided for years. It means admitting that you've failed, that you've hurt people, that you've wasted time. But that honesty, that brutal honesty is where healing begins. There's no growth without accountability. There's no power without ownership. If you want to change your life, you have to stop saying, it's not my fault, and start saying, it's my responsibility. Because the truth is, maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe life handed you pain you didn't deserve. Maybe people broke your trust, betrayed you, left you when you needed them most. But your healing, your next step, your future, that's always your responsibility. You can't change what happened, but you can change what happens next. You can't rewrite your past, but you can rewrite the meaning of it. Responsibility is not about guilt. It's about power. It's about saying, I decide how this story continues. You see, real responsibility doesn't make your world smaller. It makes it bigger. It expands your vision. It forces you to think beyond yourself. Because when you're responsible, you don't just live for pleasure, you live for purpose. You start thinking about how your actions affect others. You start realizing that every choice ripples through people's lives. Your family, your team, your community, and suddenly you begin to understand what it truly means to matter. The man or woman who embraces responsibility doesn't need motivation. They are motivation. They become a light for others. They don't preach discipline, they embody it. They don't talk about integrity. They live it. Responsibility gives your life meaning. Because meaning is born from service, from showing up, from carrying your share of the weight, from protecting what you love. Without responsibility, life feels empty. That's why people drown themselves in distractions, in noise, in endless consumption. They're trying to fill the void that only purpose can fill, and purpose only comes through responsibility. So if you're feeling lost, don't chase pleasure, chase responsibility. If you're feeling stuck, don't seek escape, seek purpose. Because the more responsibility you take on, the more capable you become. And the more capable you become, the more confidence you build. That's how leaders are made. When you start keeping promises to yourself, you start trusting yourself. When you show up on time, when you honor your word, when you take care of your body and your mind, that's self-respect. And when you respect yourself, you stop needing validation from the world. You stop chasing approval. You stop trying to impress people who don't even know your story, because you finally realize the only person you truly have to prove something to is the person in the mirror. Responsibility teaches you that success isn't about luck. It's about showing up when no one claps. It's about doing the work when no one believes. It's about keeping your word even when no one is watching. That's where real power lives. In consistency, in discipline, in doing the hard things when it's inconvenient. Because one day, when everything falls apart, the person who practiced responsibility will still be standing. Why? Because they built their life on solid ground. No excuses, no blame, just action. And let me tell you something. People notice. The world respects those who take responsibility. Because in a society full of excuses, accountability is rare. When you become that kind of person, the one who admits mistakes, who owns outcomes, who follows through, you become unforgettable. Your boss notices. Your friends notice. Your children notice. And more importantly, your future self notices. One day, years from now, you'll look back and realize that every act of responsibility, every difficult decision, every honest moment, every day you showed up even when you didn't feel like it, it all added up. And that's when you'll see it clearly. Responsibility wasn't holding you back. It was building you. When you finally accept responsibility, something changes inside you. You stop running. You stop blaming. You stop waiting for someone to save you. And for the first time, you breathe. Truly breathe. Because freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from doing what's right. Responsibility is not a prison. It's the key. It unlocks the peace you've been chasing your whole life. The peace that doesn't depend on money or success or what people say about you. The peace that comes from knowing, I'm doing my part. When you live with responsibility, you stop being afraid of the future. You stop fearing failure. Because you know whatever happens, you'll handle it. You've built that muscle. You've carried the weight. You've done the work. That's real confidence. It's not loud, it's quiet. It's the calm in your chest that says, I'm prepared. And that calm can't be bought, it can only be earned. You see, life will always test you. It will take things from you. It will throw you into storms you never saw coming. And in those moments, you'll realize nobody is coming to rescue you. But that's not a tragedy. That's the beginning of your strength. Because when you understand that you are the author of your story, you stop writing excuses and start writing victories. Every decision becomes a brushstroke. Every action paints the picture of your destiny. And one day when people look at your life, they'll see not perfection, but progress. Not comfort, but courage. Not luck, but responsibility. Think about it. The people we admire most, the ones we call heroes, leaders, legends, they weren't the ones who had it easy. They were the ones who carried the heaviest load and never complained. They didn't wait for someone to make things fair. They made things right. They took ownership. And in doing so, they created change that lasted beyond their lifetime. Because that's what responsibility does. It turns ordinary people into legacies. It transforms struggle into stories that inspire generations. It turns pain into purpose. When you say, I am responsible, you become unstoppable. Because you stop fighting life and start flowing with it. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? And that question, that shift in mindset, is what separates victims from victors. So let me ask you something right now. What are you running from? What responsibility have you been avoiding? Is it the work you've been putting off? The apology you owe someone? The promise you made to yourself but keep breaking? Whatever it is, it's time. It's time to face it. It's time to stand up. It's time to take ownership. Because on the other side of responsibility is everything you've ever wanted. Peace, confidence, freedom, and self-respect. Those are not things you can buy. You earn them through discipline, consistency, and courage. You can't fake it. You can't post it. You can only live it. And once you start living with responsibility, you'll notice something powerful. Your relationships change. People begin to trust you again. You stop attracting chaos and you start attracting clarity. Because responsible people don't play games. They don't manipulate. They don't pretend. They lead with truth. And that truth is magnetic. It inspires others to rise higher. Your example gives people permission to be stronger, more honest, more real. Responsibility is contagious. And it's the foundation of every great relationship, every strong community, every meaningful life. You want to change the world? Start by taking responsibility for yourself. That's how revolutions begin. That's how legacies are born. Every single day, life gives you two choices. Run from responsibility or rise into it. One leads to regret. The other leads to greatness. And when you rise, when you choose to own your story, everything begins to shift. The obstacles that once broke you start building you. The pain that once silenced you starts to speak purpose through you. You become the person you were always meant to be. Not perfect, but powerful. Because the truth is, responsibility is not the end of freedom. It's the foundation of it. It's not the chain. It's the key. It's what turns confusion into clarity, fear into faith, and failure into fuel. And when you finally live that truth, when you take your life seriously and own every decision you make, that's when you'll realize something profound. You were never meant to just exist. You were meant to build yourself, to build others, to build a life that matters. So take life seriously, not in fear, but in honor. Because responsibility isn't punishment. It's a privilege. It means you were trusted with something valuable, your potential. It means the universe believes you can handle more than you think. It means your story still has chapters left to write. So write them with courage. Write them with integrity. Write them with responsibility. Because at the end of it all, when your story is done, the world won't remember what you said. They'll remember what you stood for. And if you stood for responsibility, you stood for greatness.